Hello, romance lovers. I'm Gary Dickson, and I've written a novel. It's my debut novel, An Improbable Pairing. It's the love story of a couple that meet on a transatlantic crossing, and they later, Scott Stoddard, the young American, comes to Geneva and stays in this hotel, the Beau Rivage. The Beau Rivage is a hotel that dates from 1898, and he was not the first person to stay here. Just yesterday I was in the hotel, and it's very much as it was back in the 60s. Nothing has changed. It's still owned by the same family, and the likes of Thomas Edison, Richard Wagner, the Empress of Austria, the Rothschilds, all kinds of luminaries have stayed at this particular hotel. And why do they stay here? Because it's here in Geneva, Switzerland, where everything is picture postcard perfect. From here you can see Chamonix in the distance. It's snow covered the year round. And this couple, their love story takes place right here in Geneva and in Paris and in the south of France. It's a story about the rebellious love of the mismatched. How do they get together? They meet by coincidence on this transatlantic crossing, but the young man, he can't really be sure that the Countess was even flirting with him. How can he find out? Can he call her? Well, I'm not going to tease you. He does call her. And that's when his life turns upside down. Because you see, Scott Stoddard, the young student, the engineer, is in love, infatuated with the Countess de Rovere, Desiree, the self-assured, independent, rich socialite. How do they get together? This is the story of two mismatched lovers. So this is where Scott spent a lot of time in those first months when he arrived in Geneva. This is called the Place de Bourg au Four, and it dates, it's been a crossroads in time since Caesar's time. Caesar actually came here in 58 BC. Scott could have cured some of his loneliness and some of his dislocation. He didn't speak French that well. He was at the university in a very high level courses, and he could have cured everything by calling the woman that he had met on the transatlantic crossing, the Countess de Rovere. She was a very important woman. The only problem is he didn't know her. He wasn't sure whether she had been flirting with him or not. She was much richer. She was a socialite, and did I say she was slightly older than he was? So how could he get in contact with her without being the interloping American? What did he have to do? Well, he had to wait. That's what he had to do. He tried a lot of different things, but finally he called her. So who was against this relationship? Well, the list was very long. For example, the formidable mother of the Countess de Rovere was extraordinarily against this liaison for a number of reasons. First, Scott wasn't Catholic, but that was just one of them. And her friends were against it. But if you want to learn how they resolve these issues, or even if they resolve these issues, then look into An Improbable Pairing, out in January of 2019.